Hunchback's tale. It hath reached me, O auspicious king, that there dwelt during times of yore, and years and ages long gone before, in a certain city of China, a tailor who was an open-handed man that loved pleasuring and merry-making, and who was wont, he and his wife, to solace themselves from time to time with public diversions and amusements. One day they went out with the first of the light, and were returning in the evening when they fell in with a hunchback, whose semblance would draw a laugh from care and dispel the horrors of despair. So they went up to enjoy looking at him, and invited him to go home with them and converse, and carouse with them that night. He consented, and accompanied them afoot to their home, whereupon the tailor fared forth to the bazaar, night having just set in, and bought a fried fish and bread and lemons and dry sweetmeats for dessert, and set the victuals before the hunchback, and they ate. Presently the tailor's wife took a great fit of fish and gave it in a gobbet to the hunchback, stopping his mouth with her hand, and saying, "By Allah, thou must down with at it a single gulp, and I will not give thee time to chew it." So he bolted it, but therein was a stiff bone which stuck in his gullet, and his hour being come he died. And Shahrazad perceived the dawn of day, and ceased saying her permitted say. When it was the 25th night, she said, It hath reached me, O auspicious king, that when the tailor's wife gave the hunchback that mouthful of fish which ended his term of days, he died on the instant. Seeing this, the tailor cried aloud, "There is no majesty, and there is no might save in Allah. Alas, that this poor wretch should have died in so foolish fashion at our hands." And the woman rejoined, "Why this idle talk? Hast thou not heard his saying, who said, Why then waste I my time in grief, until I find no friend to bear my weight of woe? How sleep upon a fire that flames unquenched? Upon the flames to rest were hard." Asked her husband, "And what shall I do with them?" And she answered, "Rise, and take him in thine arms, and spread a silken kerchief over him. Then I will fare forth with thee, following me this very night. And if thou meet anyone, say, This is my son, and his mother and I are carrying him to the doctor, that he may look at him." So he rose, and taking the hunchback in his arms, bore him along the streets, preceded by his wife, who kept crying, "O my son, Allah keep thee! What part paineth thee, and where hath the smallpox attacked thee?" So all who saw them said, "'Tis a child sick of smallpox." They went along asking for the physician's house, till folk directed them to that of a leech, which was a Jew. They knocked at the door, and there came down to them a black slave girl, who opened, and seeing a man bearing a babe and a woman with him, said to them, "What is the matter?" "We have a little one with us," answered the tailor's wife, "and we wish to show him to the physician. So take this quarter dinar, and give it to thy master, and let him come down and see my son, who is sore sick." The girl went up to tell their master, whereupon the tailor's wife walked into the vestibule and said to her husband, "Leave the hunchback here, and let us fly for our lives." So the tailor carried the dead man to the top of the stairs, and propped him upright against the wall, and ran away, he and his wife. is the